Hey, Steve Magnante here at High-Octane Classics in Auburn, Massachusetts, with a 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner. Now, of course, the Roadrunner debuted in 1968 as sort of the affordable supercar, meant to appeal to high school seniors with a decent job. These are priced just under $3,000, and most anybody with a regular job, mowing lawns or whatever it might be, could afford a Roadrunner, because these are very decontented in every way except for the drivetrain. 383, always standard equipment, dual exhaust, always standard, 4-speed or automatic, built into the car from day one back in '68. By 1970, things had changed a little bit. The 3-speed manual became the basic transmission. You paid an additional $197 for the 4-speed, and we'll get to that in a second. But also, this one does have something interesting here, the performance hood blackout treatment we see right here. This is the V21, $18.05, got the blacked out hood. Also new for 1970 was the domed hood, replacing these sort of horizontal scoops or vents of 1968 and 1969. And again, this could be functional if you had the optional air grabber. This does not have that, but with that said, the bump hood here, the blister hood, became standard fare on Roadrunners in 1970, a very good looking design. And of course, 70 also brought in the era of the plastic grill. Right here, 1968-9 Roadrunners, then all satellites and Belvederes had metal grills, but that's plastic. Easier to design, you know, elaborate structures like that. But let's take a peek under this hood and see which of the few different engines are available. Which one do we see? And again, this is the V21 performance hood paint right here. And again, that's $18.05 well spent. Adds a lot of appeal to the car, kind of a menacing look. Hood pins were also extra cost, about $12. We'll get those, and here they are. So under the hood, we'll find, voila! And there it is, 1970. The 383 was a potent engine, again, 335 horsepower, very much stock under the hood. Still has the cast iron intake manifold, a small 4-barrel carburetor. Cast iron manifolds are still in place, which is great. Makes this a very quiet car. At an idle, it whispers like an Imperial. At wide open throttle, the dual exhaust has a good muscle car roar, but again, pretty much stock under the hood. And this has manual drum brakes. You paid a little extra for power disc brakes up front, but again, the drums on these things are 11-inch diameter, massive by comparison to GM muscle cars, which had a 9.5-inch drum. How they did that, I don't know, but Mopar didn't scrimp on the brakes. Heavy-duty suspension, again, 11-inch drums. Does have power steering, and but again, otherwise more or less stock under the hood. And again, heavy-duty aftermarket radiator in place, nothing wrong with that. One thing I'd love to see on all Roadrunners from '68 through 1981, the beep beep horn. And we've mentioned this before, but the horn actually does not have a trumpet like every other horn from a Chrysler product, but rather does not have the trumpet, but rather it kind of resonates and goes meep meep, just like the Roadrunner. And the mounts on these things, rather than being rigid, allows the horn to sort of rattle and buzz. That thing right there is specific to Roadrunners. All up to 1981, the Valori Slant 6 Roadrunner could be had with this horn. It was standard on all of these things. And then also has something kind of interesting. This has the Toyota Duster, the Dust Trail, which is a $15.50 option. This puppy here going from the front to the back of the car. And this is actually reflective at night, so it's kind of a safety feature. And something we also see is every time you see the Roadrunner character, you see Warner Brothers 7 Arts. The copyright attorneys did their job well, and every time the Roadrunner name was used on the car or graphic, you see the Warner Brothers 7 Arts, including on the horn button and the steering wheel, etc. So let's look inside and see what we can find. This is the hardtops, not the Post sedan, which is also available. This car would have cost a little bit more. Now inside, the transmission is the mighty pistol grip 4-speed. Now again, the 3-speed was the standard transmission, but for $197 more, you got this, the mighty A833 4-speed. And again, that Hurst pistol grip shifter in its first year of appearance in Mopars, an iconic shift handle and assembly seen all the way through 1974 in E-body applications, and again used in B-bodies up through 1973, I believe it was. But again, the pistol grip is a great design, iconic. This one does have the bench seat up front. Buckets were possible, but the bench seat is attired in black and silver vinyl. Nice inserts there. We can see where the Cody Duster, the dust trail, goes right into the side of the fender. And of course, new for 1970, also this quarter panel with the simulated vents, a place for the dust trail to terminate. Aftermarket 15x7 sort of Magnum 500 wheels, kind of like a Boss 429 wheels, appealing wheels, good to look at. No vinyl top, I like that. This does have the optional deck spoiler. And again, more Roadrunner branding and badging, decals here, and of course, Warner Brothers 7 Art on the Roadrunner's leg, right there, right down here, Warner Brothers 7 Arts. Now in the trunk we find lots of room for a weekend getaway or a set of drag slicks. If you want to go to the drag strip with something like this, you could totally do that. Put your luggage or your groceries in the back. And again, beautiful trunk in this thing, you know, nicely detailed. A beautiful trunk floor on this thing. My gosh, look at that. Very clean, very rust-free, beautiful looking stuff. And the paint inside of there is factory, the correct treatment, I should say. And there it is right there, the trunk mat. And a little walk down Roadrunner history. Here's 1968, when the Roadrunner first made its big appearance right here. 1968, a very different grille made out of metal and different hood scoops. They would function in 1969. We'll get to that on the other side of this piece of paper. And this is 1969. Motor Trend named this the car of the year, and you can see the hood blackout treatment on this one. The orange inserts on the hood tells us this does have the optional Cody Duster functional air scoops right there, and the Kelsey Hayes recall wheels on this. And moving up a year to 1970, which is the year of this car, this is Rodder and Superstock with the road test of a Boss Bird. And here it is, a 446 pack, which is an optional engine in 1970. You can see the air grabber right there, open, gulping air all the way down the quarter mile. Manufacturer plate tells us this came from the Dodge News Bureau, Motor Press, Motor Pool. On the other side here, we have the air grabber right there. Not present on this car, but an option for about 140 bucks. Made the car a little more nasty at the stoplight. And again, just a great example of the Roadrunner in its final year for this styling cycle, which is 1968 through 70. 71 brought a whole different animal, fuselage styling car. But again, beautiful example right here of the 11-inch drums all the way around, manual brakes, 383, 4-speed manual, pistol grip transmission, a lot to like.